I got 10 minutes before I need to head into the gym, so I'm going to answer this question. If you don't like people talking about birth control or IUDs, you don't have to watch this video. I want to talk about this because I didn't know anything about IUDs when I started. I'm the oldest girl in my family, and my mom's never really experienced an IUD, so I was kind of my own guinea pig. So yeah, I'm on my second IUD because the first one was absolutely not for me, and there's still a lot of side effects of the one that I have now that I don't love. And I know there's other forms of birth control, but an IUD to me is just the most reassuring thing. So yeah, birth control is different for everyone, but I'll talk about my first IUD. I went into my OBGYN and she recommended me a hormonal IUD. I expressed to her that I had a really bad history of depression and anxiety, but I'm not really struggling with it now, but that's something that I was like pretty nervous for. Me and hormones and changes just don't get along. So she ends up recommending me Kyleena. That's one of the lower hormonal IUDs like on the list. Pain-wise, I was doing great. I know a lot of people like get an IUD and they're out for a day and they feel like it was like the worst pain they've ever experienced, but this was definitely like 1 out of 10. So the first 2 weeks of me on that IUD was great, but then like right before my period when I normally get a little moody, I was like the most bipolar I've ever been in my life. I was so rude and so snappy to everyone in my life. Down, if you're watching this, I'm so sorry. But literally like anything anyone did just pissed me off. And then on top of that, I didn't feel like I was doing anything good in my life, which was crazy because I was just getting engaged, literally have the most perfect man. My relationship with all my siblings and other people have just really been growing. I got rid of toxic friends, had really amazing friends. Basically what I'm saying is I was at the point in my life where I was so happy, had my dream job of being able to do TikTok full time. So very out of the ordinary, right? Like I shouldn't be feeling like this. On top of those bipolar, snappy, depressed feelings, I was also very anxious. Like anxious to the point I couldn't get out of bed. I didn't want to shower. I didn't want to brush my teeth, mixed with depression. Like I just didn't feel like I needed to do anything. And that made me even more irritated because I wasn't doing my normal routine. So after snapping at one too many people, my mom's finally like, we're taking this out, like go to the emergency room. It was a Sunday morning, so my OBGYN wasn't like able to do it herself, but I couldn't take another day. IUD gets removed, and honestly it wasn't very painful for me. So I leave that appointment. He prescribes me with like a daily anxiety medication that's like really just made me sleep all the time. And it took about a week for my body to get back to normal. And then like a month later, I went to get a new IUD. So I go back to get my second IUD and I say absolutely no hormones. I kind of wanted the copper IUD to begin with, but they didn't recommend that because I never had a kid and it's like a bigger IUD itself. But I said, I don't care. Like the first one didn't hurt at all. Let's just do this. The copper IUD was bigger, so it did hurt a little bit more, but it still wasn't anything crazy for me. Now my mental health is great, thank heavens. My cramps are actually less on the copper IUD, which I know is not the case for a lot of people, but my bleeding is unbelievably heavy. But I'd rather take physical blood and pain over terrible mental health. So whatever you want.